Welcome everyone to another week of Case Files
with Kat
and Ashley. Sorry guys, I was sick, so we missed a week. It's my fault. It's always something.
You still sound sick.
It's just whatever at this point. I just think it's just my personality now.
Like, I
don't
just
feel
stay
sick. You know, it's been over a week now. I'm just here now. We're adopting it.
We're just adopting it. I felt like I kept getting sick. I felt like I was living in the sickness where it was just my nose, my sinuses. I was getting, no cough. It was just all in my head, you know.
So mine started like congestion, and then I got a sore throat, and then I got a sore on the very back of my tongue. So when I swallowed, it hurt on my tongue and my throat. And then that went away. And then I saw congestion, and then I got a cough, and then I got really tired, like super fatigued, bad headaches, and then my tooth started hurting, and then I was like, just let me die. Like, just, whatever's happening, please just let it in. And I think it's all the pollen and the weather change. It's so crazy here.
It is. It's crazy. But you're not having thoughts of hurting yourself, right?
No. I just meant in that moment when like 5 million things were happening. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't eat. Couldn't swallow. I had this sore in my mouth. Like my tooth was killing me from the sinus pain.
That is just a lot.
And then I got dogs yapping in my face. Like, it was just so much.
You had no support kitties.
None. They were nowhere in sight.
Where were you, Socks?
And then, it was so much. And it was so weird because Saturday I was perfectly fine. I went and saw a comedian. It was great. Like, I wasn't around a lot of people. I got them on the table and stuff. And then that night, as soon as I got home, I was sitting there and I was like, I think I'm going to be sick tomorrow. And sure enough, I woke up. Because I could kind of feel it coming on. Like, I get sick so often that I can kind of tell when it's happening. And I was like, fuck, here we go. I just didn't think it was going to last as long as it did or get as bad as it did. I thought it was just going to be a cold. Anyways, here we are.
And here we are a week later.
Thank you for coming to my...
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, a little bit session.
Well, we went to lunch without you.
I know.
And we spent a lot of time talking about you.
No.
No, it was just like, what's wrong with her? It's like, she's just sick. And
I felt like everyone thought I was dying because I got messages saying, hey, we should get together. Like, we should do lunch. And I'm like, do you guys think I'm dying? Like, for real? Like, am I dead? Like, what's happening? It was nice though.
But hey, people care.
I know.
That's so
sweet.
sweet.
Have to get lunch.
I know. We will. We'll have to do it again. And we will. But you know, the three moms were it was just the three of us having lunch, and we're talking about how expensive motherhood is. And then like how we forget to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and we're so focused on the kids and work, and you know, like we don't have time to go to the gym. We don't have time to just take that extra few minutes for ourselves. But also like we forget that we have friends, and spending time with our friends is super important.
Anytime I can get away, and like we have the coffees or lunches or whatever, it's just, I feel so much better. I don't care what else is going on at work, because I think another reason why I get sick so often is because I work so much and I don't sleep a lot, and I just stress myself out and give myself anxiety about stuff. So it's just never ending. And so then like I get burnout and I get sick and whatever else, because I hadn't been sleeping the week before I got sick.
Well then, yeah.
And so it was just whatever. So I think it's so important, even if it's just one friend, even if, you know, it's whatever, make a friend. I don't like talking to people, as you guys know, but I still have friends. If I can have friends, you can have friends.
I made you be my friend. But I mean, but I kind of go this other way where like, yes, there are options for me to socialize, but I have so much to do. And so I go the way of doing the work, and then I end up isolated.
Yeah.
Because I have so much to do.
Well, and for me, I feel like I should be working right now. Anytime I'm not working, I feel like I should really be working right now. Like this
that
is
part.
not like, and then I can't really enjoy the moment.
Right.
And so then I feel bad. And then I
Right.
work like
And you work
overdrive.
extra. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyways, if you're still here, thank you.
Anyway,
we love you
yeah.
guys. That was just,
Just real talk.
get out, just make your, even if it's just, hey, come over and listen to the super cool true crime podcast. Listen to, and then you guys can silently sit together and listen to our podcast. I'm just kidding.
Oh
kind
my
of.
God. Okay. Kind of. But kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what have you got for us tonight?
Okay, so I think I said I was going to do a disappearance, but this is actually the story, the case that led to Amber Alerts and the National Sex Offenders Registry list being created.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of us kind of know about it, but I wanted to do an in-depth thing, talk about who Amber actually was,
great.
how it got created, and all that kind of stuff, and how the different countries kind of have their own systems.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm gonna
Countries or counties?
countries.
Oh,
Yeah,
countries.
because after we started it here, other countries started adopting their own versions of it, and some of the states have different versions of it. So not everyone has the same across the board, but it's very similar.
But it's called Amber Alert across the country.
Called, yeah, but some countries also have their own system.
Oh, okay.
Or they had it before Amber Alerts,
Oh.
but it was something similar, and then they adopted Amber Alerts.
Oh.
Like they name it after victims from their state.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we all know a lot of people find it to be an annoyance, but I'm grateful it exists. I don't have children, but if I ever had a child and it was missing, I would be incredibly grateful to have
100%.
Amber Alerts. So again, it's the Amber Alert system, and I just kind of wanted to talk about the creation. Monday, which was the 12th. Yeah. Okay. So Monday was the 30th anniversary of the creation of the Amber Alert system.
This last Monday?
Yeah.
Oh,
30 years.
the 12th?
Yeah. And so before I start, I just
Sorry, I just had to get a beer.
No, it's okay. I just need to let you guys know that parts of this story, there's a very small part that talks about the abduction, murder, and sexual assault of a child. I don't go into detail about it, but if you think it might upset you, you'll want to skip ahead a little bit, and I will tell you when we get to that part. But it's an essential part to this story. Again, I don't go into detail about it, but it is like I cannot not talk about that part.
You can't talk about vaginas more than I did. So
Well, it's nothing like that for sure. So again, this case is what created the Amber Alert system. It led to the National Sex Offender Registry coming into place and many other important laws and changes of how we, as in the United States, handles these types of cases and sex offender cases. These cases being child abductions. So Amber Renee Hagerman was born on November 25th, 1986.
Oh, right around your birthday.
Yeah, like just 5 days after.
That's crazy.
And so she was born in she was raised in Arlington, Texas, and it was considered a very safe suburban area at the time and in the 90s.
I didn't know that she was from Arlington.
Yeah. And she was a Girl Scout. She loved riding her bike, and she had a younger brother named Ricky. She was described as an innocent, sweet little girl who loved being what they said is like a little mommy to Ricky. Ricky would describe her as his best friend, like a second mom. They spent all of their time together. She loved riding. She loved Barbies. She was just your typical, she loved Pocahontas, and she had this really pretty pink bike. Like she was just honestly, just a typical little girl, you know what I mean?
Sweet.
And so, so months before what happens to her, Amber, Ricky, and Donna being the mom, she was a single mom at the time. She was working towards her GED. They had been on welfare and had gotten out of it. And they were interviewed for by WFAA-TV for a special on welfare reform. And so in the piece, Amber is just, you can see her showing off her scrapbook of like awards that she got for being such like a good student, like her grades and her attendance. And she's just so excited about it. And Donna would say she just loved school. And so that's just who she was. She was just a happy little girl, loved all of these things like school and being like smart and playing with her brother and Barbies and all that stuff. So on Saturday, January 13th, 1996, 10 years after she's born, well, technically 9, Donna, again, that's Amber's mother, Amber and Ricky, all went to see Donna's parents, Glenda and Jimmy. Now, they also live in Arlington. So previously, the young family had spent the day playing at the park. They had lunch at Burger King. And so then they go to their grandparents' house. And so a little after 3 p.m., Amber, who's 9 at the time, and Ricky, who's 5, they ask if they can ride their bikes around the neighborhood. Both children had bikes that they would keep at their grandparents' house from when they were visiting. Excuse me. With permission, Amber and Ricky were told that they could ride their bikes around the block, but they were not to go any further than the block. And again, at this time, it was just a little bit different times, and this really safe neighborhood. Like there wasn't a lot of crime, and so when I was a kid, I remember being out all hours, like
all hours.
We would ride our bikes in the woods. We would walk and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And even after dinner, sometimes we would go back out. It was just different time. I feel like in today's times, it's like a lot scarier, even though child abductions were happening back then.
Right.
I just feel like it's more prevalent now, or more, I don't know, scarier now. I don't know. I could never have children now.
It's all the adults who grew up in that time who are just like, it's dark out. You're not going out there.
Yeah.
The street is just not well lit enough. And we live in a very safe area.
I feel like parents didn't have to truly worry about their kids being stolen from their own front yards back then.
But they should have.
Right.
Because
I'm not
that's
saying
when
they
it was happening.
I'm not saying they didn't. I mean, that they shouldn't have. I'm just saying it wasn't like today.
Right.
And so.
What was that one boy that you told the story of? He's famous. Is that Walsh?
Adam Walsh, he was on the milk cartons. He was the first one on the milk cartons.
But it was his neighbor, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and wasn't it like last year, the year before, that girl got taken out of her front yard by the UPS driver?
What?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
That was either last year. Yeah, she was playing in her front yard and the UPS driver took her.
Oh my God. See, this is why. Yeah. My neighbor is out there when her little daughter's out there. She's just staying in the yard. And it always surprises me when she's by herself, because usually the mom is out there with her every time, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus. Whew.
Okay, so again.
UPS driver. What?
Yeah.
God.
We'll talk about it later. So Amber's 9, Ricky's 5. They're in a safe neighborhood. They're supposed to ride their bikes around the block. Kids being kids, they decided to ride their bike beyond the block, and they rode it to this little parking lot of an abandoned Winn-Dixie, which, if you're not sure what that is, that's a grocery store, and it's literally less than 0.3 miles from their grandparents' house, like less than a block and a half. So they just went like half a block further than they were supposed to go. The parking lot had a lot of ramps, and children would often play here. It was a well-known area for children to play. They were surrounded by residential homes on one side and some businesses, which included like a laundromat on the other.
And what time of day was it?
3:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So Ricky made one loop around the parking lot and told Amber they needed to go home. He didn't want to get in trouble. However, Amber explained that she wanted to stay and ride a little bit longer, and reluctantly, Ricky went home by himself. So once there, Amber's grandparents asked him where she was, and he said she's riding her bike still, and they told him to go get her. Ricky returned to the parking lot and found it empty.
Oh my God.
Pedaling as fast as he could back home, he rushed and yelled, "Sissy's gone." Jimmy, the grandfather, hopped in his truck, sped to the parking lot. When he got there, there were already police officers there. They were scouring the area, and Amber's abandoned bicycle was there.
Why were police already there?
And I'll explain why.
Why?
I will explain in a minute.
Oh my God.
So from the time Amber and Ricky had left their home to ride the bikes to the time Jimmy got to the parking lot was less than 8 minutes.
What?
The children left the home at 3:10. She was gone by 3:18. It was an 8-minute window. It's not like she was out there for hours riding her bike alone. Literally 8 minutes. They drive to the park, or they went to this parking lot. Ricky went home. Grandparents said, go get her. He goes, comes back. Grandfather immediately shows up. She's already gone. When Ricky left the parking lot, there was a gentleman across, like he was in his backyard. His name is Jim Kevel, and he was a 78-year-old retired man. He was working in his backyard from across the parking lot. He saw a young girl, which was Amber, riding a bike up and down the ramp when suddenly a black or dark blue pickup truck drove up to Amber. A man hopped from the truck and with one swoop grabbed Amber and forced her into his truck. She tried to kick and scream, and she let out a blood-curdling scream, and then the truck immediately left the parking lot and turned west to go down the street. He said, I saw Amber riding up and down. She was by herself. I saw this black pickup. He pulled up, jumped out, and grabbed her. When she started screaming, I knew the police ought to know about it, so I called them immediately. This is a case of see something, say something. The police were there within 3 minutes of that phone call. But the officers found no sign of her except for her bike. Had this man not called, they may not have ever known they would have assumed, but they wouldn't have known. And who knows how long it would have been before, the police got out there. Anyways, 4 days later, on January 17th, in the early morning hours, a man walking his dog by the Forest Hills Apartments in Arlington came across a gruesome sight. The building is only a few miles from the abduction site and 3.2 miles from the grandparents' home. In a stream behind the building, the man found the body of Amber. She was submerged in a creek with water running over her. The previous day, there had been a massive thunderstorm which swelled the small creek, and they think that Amber was dumped slightly further upstream and she just happened to float down to where she was discovered. They did determine the dump site was not the scene of the murder, and they determined that she had been killed, absolutely had been killed somewhere else and just dumped. So this next part is where I talk about how she died and some of the things that happened to her. So if you think you might be triggered, I would say probably skip ahead 1 or 2 minutes. Again, it's not detailed, but I just like to warn people. Amber died from cut wounds to the neck. Like literally her throat was slashed from one side to the other. And she had been beaten and sexually assaulted. Now, there is some controversy about the sexual assault because some say that she was raped and sexually assaulted. Some say it wasn't actually sexual assault because it stopped short of rape. And so there's some back and forth, and I didn't understand what the confusion was, but they say there was not a set definition at this time of what sexual assault was, and I feel like there would have been. So majority of the reports say that she was also sexually assaulted. So I don't know if that means raped. I don't know what that means. I didn't want to look too much into it. She was found nude with the exception of one sock. And the medical examiner also determined that she had been kept alive for 2 days, 2 to 3 days, and had not died until January 15th or even the 16th. The water on her body had washed away almost all of the physical evidence. There were some fibers present on her body that were collected. The Arlington Police Department, even to this day, is very close-lipped about the presence of the DNA. They kind of want to keep that integrity of the investigation. Like if they do ever arrest somebody, they don't want to release too much of what they did find. Generally speaking, there is very little evidence though. So Amber was buried in late January 1996, and even with over 8,000 tips, her case is still unsolved. Tips continue to come in every year. However, they've led to no arrest. There have been very little suspects. There still is a cash reward in her case, but the Arlington Police Department dissolved the Amber Task Force in 1999 and officially marked the case cold. Now, Jim Kevill, the man that was the witness, he has since passed away, but he described the abductor as a white or Hispanic male in his 20s or 30s with a medium build and under 6 feet tall, brown or black hair. He described the truck as dark colored 1980s or 1990s single cab, no chrome, and it was in good condition. So, side note, if that age range is true, that person's probably still alive today.
Yep.
And so, while only Jim came forward as a witness, police do believe customers in the laundromat have also been witnesses to this. However, many of those witnesses were immigrants, and the police believe that they were in fear of being deported. And so they didn't want to come forward. And even though the police have said, hey, like, we just want information on the case, we don't care about your status. We all know what's happening in today's times. And so they sure as hell are not going to come forward now. But back then, no one came forward. Only Jim came forward as a witness. There was another local man. He reported seeing a black pickup truck in the area. He said it was near the abandoned grocery store about 45 minutes before the abduction, though. And the police have been unable to verify if that was the same truck that actually abducted her. And so they've never said officially that it was the same. Now, the FBI did release a profile on her abductor, hoping it would lead locals to recognize him. They said Amber's abductor was profiled as an opportunistic predator who targeted Amber for the sole reason that she was alone and accessible. He lives or worked in the area of Arlington as he seems very comfortable with the landscape. Excuse me. He is white or Hispanic and most likely suffered some type of stressor before the crime. He may have been laid off, fired, divorced, or had some sort of other stressful event occur right before the abduction. They said he probably had a criminal record and may have committed crimes against children before. He said the man would have to live in a place with enough privacy to keep a child hidden for 2 days. Because of this, he probably did not live in an apartment or anything similar. He most likely lived alone. So they did say, of course, profiling isn't an exact science, but they claim that this is the type of man who perpetrated similar crimes in the past.
This was not his first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely opportunity.
Jim said he literally got out and just picked her up at one swoop and shoved her in the truck. So a month after Amber went missing.
Were there other kids in the area?
Not at the time.
But no, like that had disappeared or had been assaulted in
Not in Arlington.
Not in Arlington. Okay.
A month after Amber went missing, her mother went to the elementary school that Amber attended. They were dedicating a new playground in Amber's honor, and she wanted to console Amber's classmates who didn't understand the situation very well. Amber's third grade teacher, Miss Walter, had created the Amber Museum at Amber's empty desk. The class had decorated it with pink hearts and ribbons and had a large framed picture of her on the desk. And the children, once they saw Donna upset, they each took turns raising their hands and saying really nice things about Amber. And so I thought that was nice.
That's so sad.
I know. To this day, there have been no publicly announced suspects. There was one really odd interaction with this 19-year-old classmate of Donna's. They were both going to the same technical school. That's why there was the age difference. His name was Willie Randolph, and he attended Amber's memorials and was remembered as making really, really odd comments to the media, such as, "I just wanted to see her and feel the grief that her family is feeling." That's a direct quote from someone he told the news.
What? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
What?
He said he said, and he was gazing into her coffin when he would say shit like this.
What?
Of course, we know saying weird shit doesn't make you a criminal, but what the fuck?
But I mean, read the room.
He was never considered a serious suspect. I think he was just weird, truly just very weird, but still, who says that to the media at the funeral? I don't know. So Amber's story has changed the way we as a country and in part the world.
This is 17th. Or is that counting the day that she died? Are they counting
that's her funeral. She was buried on the 17th.
She was buried on
Or
the,
excuse me, what are you talking about?
it says the 17th as her date of death.
Yeah, when they found her, because they couldn't figure out they said that the guy kept her alive 2 to 3 days.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
could have been the 15th, 16th, or 17th.
Okay.
Yeah, and then her funeral was shortly after.
Got it.
Sorry, I didn't know what you were showing. But yeah, they said that she was kept alive for multiple days. That's why they say he couldn't have lived in an apartment or somewhere that was like had other, like he would have had to live somewhere where he could keep a child and do things to her for 2 days and murder her and no one see it. You know what I mean? Like, anyways. So Amber's story has changed the way we all handle child abductions. Within days of Amber's death, Donna was calling for tougher laws governing kidnappers and sex offenders. Amber's parents soon established the People Against Sex Offenders. They collected signatures hoping to force the Texas legislature into passing more strict laws to protect children. God's Place International Church donated their first office space for the organization, and as the search for Amber's killer continued, People Against Sex Offenders received almost daily coverage in the local media.
Wow.
Companies donated various office supplies, including computers and internet service. And then Congressman Martin Frost, with the help of Mark Kloss, drafted the Amber Hagerman Child Protection Act. So backstory on Mark Kloss, real quick. He had a daughter named Polly who was kidnapped and murdered in Petaluma, California. In 1993. And so Amber's father had actually contacted him when Amber first went missing to help try and find her. And so
Interesting. So he knew right away who to contact.
Yeah, and so he worked with Congressman Martin Frost to help get this Protection Act in place. And so both of Amber's parents were present when President Bill Clinton signed the bill into law, creating the National Sex Offender Registry. So I'm sure we all know what that is, but if for some reason you don't, the registry contains information about persons convicted of sexual offenses for law enforcement and public notification purposes. All 50 states, the District of Columbia, everyone has one. It maintains sex offender registries that are open to the public. Anybody can go online and you can put in your address. I don't recommend it because you'll be sick to your stomach. But you can do so, and you can see all the sex offenders in your area and what they were charged for.
Where do I go?
It's just like you could put in the Texas state sex offender list. Like you do it by state. It's listed by state. And then you can put in your address, and it shows you based on severity, and then it tells you their names, their pictures, what they did, how long they're on the list for, all that kind of stuff. It's terrifying in this area. Anyway, so because of their law, that's how the registry became about. Because of Amber's case and her parents fighting and the congressman fighting, they got this bill passed by Bill Clinton. He's the one that signed it into law. So in July of 1996, Bruce Serbert, whose own daughter was a close friend of Amber's, and Richard, which was Amber's father, they attended a media symposium in Arlington. Bruce gave a 20-minute speech about efforts that local police could take more quickly to help find missing children and how the media could facilitate those efforts. After Amber's murder, a local Texas mother named... Are you looking at the registry? Yeah, I told you. Anyways, after the murder and after this symposium, a local Texas mother named Diana Simone kept thinking about Amber's kept thinking about how Amber disappeared without a trace. I said, I can't get over this child. There has to be something we can do, Diana told People magazine. There were weather and civil defense alerts, so why wouldn't they do it for this? So Diana called a local radio station with an idea for an emergency system. The concept was that a 911 call was placed. Radio stations would immediately interrupt programming to broadcast the alert. 14 days after Amber's abduction, Diana wrote a letter to the station requesting that if the alert system got put into place, it should be known as Amber's Plan. Dallas-Fort Worth broadcasters and local police then teamed up to develop an early warning system. According to the official Amber Alert website, the system, officially named Amber, in her honor, but what it stands for is America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response. So this Amber Alert began development in 1996. It was first implemented on July 5th, 1997, and the first time it saved a child was on November 10th, 1998. In 1998, the Child Alert Foundation created the very first full automated alert notification system to notify surrounding communities when a child was reported missing or abducted. Alerts were sent to the radio stations as originally requested, but included television stations, surrounding law enforcement agencies, newspapers, and local support organizations. These alerts were sent out. This is going to be so dated for some of y'all. Sent out via pagers, faxes, emails, and cell phones with information immediately posted on the internet. Now, regional alert names, again, were once used, and some are still in use. Like they have in Georgia, there's the Levi's Call, which is in memory of Levi Freddie. Hawaii has Miley Alert, Amber Alert in memory of Miley Gilbert. Arkansas has Morgan Nick Amber Alert. Utah uses Rachel Alert. And Idaho has a Monkey's Law in honor of Michael Monkey Joseph Vaughn. That was his nickname, Monkey. And so even though they have these different names and different systems, that's essentially what they were. Oh. And then Amber Alert became nationwide. Currently, Amber Alerts now get distributed via commercial and public radio stations, internet radio, satellite radio, TV stations, text messages, cable TV by the Emergency Alert System, and the NOAA weather radio. They are also distributed via email, electronic traffic condition signs, commercial electric billboards. Amber Alert program has also teamed up with Google and Facebook to now display that information regarding an Amber Alert when geographical relevant searches are entered into Google, Yahoo, Bing, or other search engines. And some of you may have seen Facebook will actually display Amber Alerts on the top of your Facebook or your feed if you're in an area where there is an active one. Yeah.
I haven't noticed that. I also haven't noticed programming being interrupted. I guess I don't hear that as much, but maybe
not on streaming services. I think that's the problem. It has to be like your cable.
Oh, okay.
Or your radio or your phone.
Yeah,
you know
the radio.
I mean? Like
and if I'm listening to a pod, yeah. But yeah, everybody knows the text message.
Yeah.
We all get those.
Each state's Amber Alert plan sets its own criteria for activation. So I didn't know that. I thought it was like a blanket criteria. But apparently each state is responsible for setting up like what constitutes an Amber Alert. Now, I'll talk. I know. So,
I mean, okay, go ahead.
So each state sets their own criteria, meaning there's differences between alerting agencies as to which instances are considered to justify the use of the system. However, the United States Department of Justice issues the following guidance, which most states adhere to very closely. 1, law enforcement must confirm that an actual abduction has taken place. 2, the child must be at serious risk of injury or death. 3, there must be sufficient descriptive information of the child, the captor, or at least the captor's vehicle to issue an alert. And 4, the child must be under 18. Now, many law enforcement agencies have not used number 2 as a criteria, resulting in many parental abductions triggering Amber Alerts.
Is that the serious harm or death rule?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the children are not known or assumed to be at risk, like it still triggers it. And then in 2013, West Virginia passed Schuyler's Law, which I talked about in another story, to eliminate number 1 as a criteria, like where the law enforcement has to verify that an abduction actually happened. So basically, a child goes missing, the alert goes out no matter what. So when investigators believe that a child is in danger of being taken across the border to either Canada or Mexico, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, United States Border Patrol, and the Canada Border Services Agency are all notified and expected to search every single car coming through the border checkpoint. If the child is suspected to be taken to Canada, a Canadian Amber Alert can also be issued, and a pursuit by Canadian authorities usually follows. For incidents which do not meet Amber Alert criteria, the United States Department of Justice have developed the Child Abduction Response Teams, called CART program, to assist local agencies. Now, this program can be used in all missing children's cases with or without an Amber Alert. So CART can be used to help recover runaway children. I'm so sorry, guys.
Do you want some water?
I got some water. CART can be used to recover runaway children, so they don't have to be abducted. They don't have to be anything like that. It can be just missing children, as long as they're under 18 and in danger. There are currently over 200 response teams that have been trained in 43 different states.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So other countries have their own similar systems in place. In Canada, their system began in December 2002 when Alberta launched the first province-wide system. British Columbia uses TransLink, which is its corporation responsible for the regional transportation network of Metro Vancouver in British Columbia. So what they do is on their buses, they put the Amber Alert notices on the bus's digital signs.
Ooh.
And it'll say something like, Amber Alert, listen to the radio, tune into the radio. Details of the Amber Alert are also at all screens at the transit stations. In Quebec, the program was introduced in May 26, 2003. And the name Amber Alert was adopted into a French equivalent that translates as Media Alert Goal of Child Recovery. And so they have a different set of criteria to issue their alerts. The missing child must be under 18. The police have to have reason to believe that the missing child was abducted. They have to believe the physical safety or the life of the child is in serious danger, and they have to have information that may help locate the child. All four of those have to be met for them to issue an alert.
Boo.
Ontario puts alerts on media and highway signs, but also includes it on their 9,000 lottery terminal screens. So like when you go and you buy lottery, like it's on those as well. Now, after the abduction and murder of Victoria Stafford, there was an online petition which was started by a woman named Susie, who was a single mother of two. It gained over 61,000 signatures, prompting a review of the Amber Alert. There were some concerns regarding the strict criteria for issuing the alerts. Criteria that were not met in the Victoria case that resulted in an alert not being issued. Ontario police have since changed their rules for issuing an alert from having to confirm an abduction and confirm threat of harm to just believe that a child has been abducted and believe that they are at risk of harm, which is kind of what many states here do. They just have to believe that that's what's happening. Mexico also joined the Amber Alert system and launched a program April 2nd in 2011. The Australian state of Queensland implemented a version of Amber Alerts in May 2005, while other Australian states joined Queensland in Facebook's Amber Alert program in June of 2017. New Zealand launched their own version in 2017. So when an alert is issued, it inserts information about the missing individual in all news feeds of Facebook users in the area and where they think the person may be taking the child. So, and the news organizations are alerted. But yeah, it shows up on Facebook. If you've never seen it, it's like at the top, it'll say like, it's like a block. It's like an information box. And it'll say it'll say like Amber Alert, and you have to be in the area of where the kid was abducted or where they think they may go. That's great. Okay, so while this system is amazing, with all things there is controversy. So advocates for missing children have expressed concerns that the public is gradually becoming desensitized to Amber Alerts because of a large number of false or overly broad alarms where police issue an Amber Alert without strictly adhering to the U.S. Department of Justice's Activation guidelines. Two examples that they use is the timing of a July 2013 New York child abduction alert sent through the wireless emergency alerts at 4 a.m., which raised concerns that many cell phone users would disable the alerts altogether. And in 2024, the Texas Department of Public Safety sent out a blue alert at 4:50 in the morning to cell phones across the state, some as far as 8 hours drive from the incident location. If you don't know, a blue alert is involving police officers. The alert prompted thousands of complaints to the federal commission. Thousands. Along with public expressions of disbelief that the government would expect private individuals to wake up in the middle of the night to search for a suspect. Amber alerts are often displayed on electric message signs, like the ones you see on the road that say drive safe or whatever. And the Federal Highway Administration has instructed states to display alerts on highway signs sparingly, citing safety concerns from distracted drivers and the negative impacts of traffic congestion. So many states have policies in place that limit the use of Amber alerts on freeway signs. In LA, an Amber Alert issued in October of 2002 that was displayed on area freeway signs caused significant traffic congestion.
What?
And as a result, the California Highway Patrol has elected not to display the alerts during rush hour, citing safety concerns. The state of Wisconsin only displays Amber Alerts on freeway signs if it is deemed appropriate by the Transportation Department and Public Safety Agency. Amber Alerts do not preempt messages related to traffic safety. You know, God forbid we try to find missing children if it means being woken up at 4 a.m. or stuck in traffic. Like, children abductions are only supposed to happen during business hours or when it's like fucking convenient for somebody.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, I get so upset when I hear people bitch about Amber Alerts. It's a missing child. It is the worst day of some parent's life. It is the worst day of that child's life. Stats have shown over and over again, abducted children, like most of them, like 75% of them are killed within the first 3 hours that they go missing. And you're going to complain because you got an Amber Alert at 3 a.m. or because you had to be stuck in traffic for 5 extra fucking minutes.
Yes, they are.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't sympathize with people who are so bothered.
They're callous
By an Amber Alert. I just don't understand how you can't have any compassion for a family going through that or for a child in this very terrifying, life-altering situation where they may not survive. I hope anyone that's opposed to it never has to use it because, like, I just don't understand how you could be so upset by it. But anyways, off my soapbox. In 2020,
we're judging you.
I'm truly judging people who are so opposed to Amber Alerts and who turn them off on their phone.
And I don't mind saying it.
I don't. It's a child.
If it annoys you, okay. But remember why. Just remember the why. That's it.
In 2023, Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill adjusting the alert system in honor of Athena Strand, who was kidnapped and murdered in Wise County in 2022. The bill lets law enforcement issue an alert when a child goes missing before it's confirmed that it was an abduction. The alert goes out to a 100-mile radius from the child's disappearance and the surrounding counties. As of December 2025, the Amber Alert system has contributed to the safe recovery of over 1,290 children across the United States, and 241 children were rescued because of the wireless emergency alerts. The Department of Justice...
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The Department of Justice's Office of Justice Programs has partnered with the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. They serve as the clearinghouse capacity for the Amber Alert program and to aid in the spreading of Amber Alert information. So information on active Amber Alerts is available on their website at all times. There will be a link in the show notes, but like you can go there anytime and see any children that are still missing, the Amber Alert information about it. So that will be there. And then today, Amber's case still remains unsolved. They have no suspects.
Nothing.
There have been cases or people they've talked about that sound similar, but they cannot make any connections to Amber's case.
They didn't have video.
They didn't have video. They didn't have really good DNA technology at the time. But, and it's hard because there was so much evidence washed away when she was in that water, and her clothes were missing. So there was like no fiber, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing, there was no hair on her. There was no really real evidence, and that wasn't the murder site. So there was nothing that.
Did they find her bike?
Her bike was left. He never took the
Oh.
bike. He grabbed her. The Jim said that the man pulled up next to her in his truck, got out of the truck, went around and grabbed her, like just wrapped his arms around her and just threw her in the truck and drove off. He said it was like she was kicking and screaming and trying, and the man just had such a tight grip on her and got her in the truck. That's why they also say they don't feel like it was his first time, because he just did it so effortlessly. He just got out, grabbed her, got back in, and took off. Like he knew what he was doing. There was no hesitation.
What makes me so sad, like immediately, is I should have went home. I should have gone home. I shouldn't have come here. I disobeyed.
Well,
and like she probably in
me-
those moments of
Yeah.
her,
For me, it's the brother. I shouldn't have left her. Why did I leave her?
And
I
the
should have
brother.
stayed. I cannot imagine that level of guilt. Even though it's not his fault, I cannot imagine having to live with knowing that I could have been there and it may have made him not show up. I could have saved her. This happened in less than 8 minutes, truly, because if they left at 3:10 and he was still there, so like maybe a 5-minute window, whoever did it had to have been watching. You know what I mean?
This cat is kicking me out of my chair.
I know, I see it.
I am sitting on one butt cheek,
I know, I see it.
and he bit me because he's like, "You're taking up my chair." This is my chair, dude. Sorry. Okay.
But that's so scary to me that it can happen so quickly. And it's not just with children, it's with anyone. Like, it's so crazy, like how fast somebody can just come and take you
And that
or your child.
UPS driver, that shit is
Did you
gonna.
look it up?
No,
Oh.
I'm too busy looking up all the sex offenders in my area,
Yeah.
memorizing their faces.
Yeah. Okay.
Not far. Hey, guess what? Not far.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know, look it up.
I'm serious. You'll be, so, and I'm sorry, it was a FedEx driver. Please don't send me UPS. It
FedEx.
was
Sorry,
FedEx.
FedEx.
I'm so
Yikes.
not used to seeing FedEx anywhere.
Right? Where do they go?
Yeah. And so I just, in my mind, I was thinking UPS.
Where are they?
But okay, so let me finish this and then we'll talk about the FedEx case. So, to this day, her case is unsolved. Her mother still lives in Texas. She is a strong child safety advocate. She goes and talks to students. She talks to kids about staying close to home. She talks to parents about safety matters. Like, she's an advocate. And she's never given up looking for Amber. She'll still be in news stories. Like, on the 30th anniversary of the Amber Alert, a lot of them talk about Amber and her case. And her brother Ricky still works with the police and continues to speak out about his sister.
Wow.
Yeah. The Arlington Police Department is actively seeking new information on the case, especially with recent renewed pleas, and because they have new advanced DNA technology that they believe could help catch her killer if they could just get a suspect. So anyone with information on Amber's particular case can contact the Arlington Police Department, or if you don't want to be known, you're afraid of, for some reason, you can report anonymous tips to Crime Stoppers on their hotline. You don't have to give your information.
Somebody knows something.
Yeah.
Right.
But now the FedEx case was in 2022. It was in December, like right before Christmas. He was a FedEx driver and he kidnapped and murdered a 7-year-old girl. That was the Athena Strand, the one that I mentioned
Hold on.
earlier in my story.
Yes.
The reason that Greg Abbott changed the bill was in honor of Athena, and Athena was the girl that got kidnapped by the FedEx driver. She was like just in her yard. And anyways, the driver was 31 and he just kidnapped her and he's in jail.
That's
I mean,
terrifying.
she arrived home from school Wednesday afternoon, and at 6:40 her stepmother reported her missing. So the driver had delivered a package to the home around the time she was discovered missing, and investigators believe that like I said earlier, that she was murdered within hours. The stats are proven. 75% or more children that go abducted by a stranger, not by a parent, by a stranger, are murdered within the first 3 hours. That's why these Amber Alerts and like being vigilant and like vigilant. Yeah, there we go. And seeing people and like paying attention. It's so important.
It is easy to get complacent and to see an Amber Alert coming through, but I'm always like, okay, this one's in Arlington. Are they are they coming down here? Because they do kind of. It is broad, like it's in San Angelo or it's in San Antonio, and you know that's 3-4 hours away, or you know Dallas, you know, so it's not necessarily like in our area. Does that mean they think that they're traveling down here?
Yeah, it's a possibility of like where they could go. So they either have family here, friends here, the direction they were heading. There's something that ties them to that area. So they send the alert out to a 100-mile radius of where the kid goes missing and the surrounding counties of where they think, it like the
that makes sense.
Yeah, she was in her driveway. The driver was actually delivering her Christmas presents.
Oh my God.
But she was in her driveway. It was daylight outside. It was in Wise County, Texas. And
why is it going to be Texas again?
I'm just
Come on, Texas.
And so, yeah, he grabbed her and, you know, whatever else. I won't talk about, but her name was Athena Strand, and that's a whole nother story. But because of her case, that's why in 2023, they changed the law to it. You don't have to confirm the kid was abducted. You just have to believe it, and they issue the Amber Alert immediately.
It feels like if you have to confirm it, you're wasting valuable time.
Yeah.
To just do that. Like how and
I
how
would rather
are you confirming it?
Yeah. I'd rather it be a situation where, okay, maybe they did run away and they weren't abducted, but the alert still went out. Like maybe they walked away and just got, whatever the case may be, I'd rather the alert go out.
100%. You should lobby for that.
Yeah. And so, with the Athena case, it was real bad. There was video from inside the truck. The child was inside the truck.
My God.
I mean, it was just bad. So anyways, that's the Athena Strand case. And again, that was in 2022, and that's why the law went into place in 2023. That's what started the alerts going out to the 100-mile radius from a child's disappearance. So it was because of that case. And then Amber's case is what led to the Amber Alerts and the National Sex Registry list. And then Schuyler's Law, which we did talk about on another case, which also was part of this, was kind of reenacted how the Amber Alert was triggered, that it needed to be triggered sooner. And it, like, because I think they had originally considered Schuyler a runaway because she was 16.
Oh.
And so, yeah. And so there was a lot of laws and changes that came out because of this case or related to this case.
Yeah.
The Schuyler's Law was in April 2013. It was HB 2453, if you want to be technical, but it was an expansion of the Amber Alert protocols. So it would mandate local law enforcement contact state police for any abducted or suspected missing minors in the initial stages of an investigation. So say like someone went missing in League City, the League City Police Department would have to contact the state police so that there would be a statewide issued alert about this missing child, because obviously if they're abducted, they're probably not in the same city they were abducted. So that's what Schuyler's Law did. And that was an expansion of Amber Alert.
That's good.
And yeah. And so there was a lot of programs that came out of this, a lot of laws that were changed, a lot of laws that were put into place, a lot of things to help recover children as quickly and efficiently as possible.
That's good.
And so, of course, there's a whole different set of laws when someone over 18 goes missing, but, usually you're supposed to have, they had it where you had to wait a couple of days, but now they do consider it sooner. Anyways, but.
So we have the sex offender registry. Do we have a domestic violence perpetrator registry?
I doubt it.
We do not. Would love that, because then when someone starts dating somebody, they can go, you know what? Let me just check. Are they on the registry? Let me just check.
But you know what some other countries are doing? And I don't remember if I saw it here, but they're actually starting a pet abuse registry too.
Bravo.
Where if someone has been arrested for pet or animal abuse of any kind, they're on the registry. So that
because
people won't sell pets to them. Places won't adopt pets to them. Like
but also,
shelter,
they're probably abusing people too.
Yeah. And like, I kind of want to know if the person I'm friends with or dating or whatever is.
Look it up.
Yeah. And so that was, I know France did it for sure. I know another couple of countries are. And so I hope that, that starts here. I know Florida's doing some stuff with animal abuse now.
That's great.
Yeah. So people are starting to take that more seriously, which has nothing to do with the Amber Alert system. I got on a sidetrack. So
I sidetracked us. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But that's my story. That's my story about Amber, how the case came about, the laws that came out of it. And
That's
Amber's
great.
mom's, she has said, it's a very tragic situation, but from this tragic situation has come some very positive changes that will save the lives of thousands of other children.
100%.
And so for her, that brings her some comfort that even though her daughter's missing, or not missing, but even though her daughter passed away and she's not going to get her back, she's at peace knowing that her life led to these changes, and other families will not have to suffer the way that she suffered because of these Amber Alerts. And so I thought that was a beautiful kind of look on it.
When Savannah, who we've talked about before on the podcast, but who we have a memorial walk at work for, when her parents have spoken with me, and I hear them speak out in other situations, but their main goal is, if we can just save one person.
Yeah.
If just one person gets out of a relationship that could kill them because of the work that I do, then I have done justice. Like,
yeah,
that's what they want. They want one person, and they're just always going for that one person.
Yeah.
Not that it'll I guess that it'll give meaning to her death, but it's more like so that she wouldn't die in vain.
Right.
If they did nothing, if they didn't learn from this and move forward in trying to teach other people, other parents, signs or whatever, then they would, it's,
yeah,
they aren't getting their daughter back.
Yeah.
But they are making the world safer and better for other people. And they just, all they want is to save one person.
Yeah.
And they've probably already done that, but they're just keeping going for that one person.
Yeah. And that's how Donna feels, right? Like, she's not going to get her daughter back. She doesn't want her life to be forgotten.
She saved one kid, at least. The
system has saved, even though she didn't create the system, she did change a lot of laws, but because of the system, which Amber's case led to, has saved over 1,200 children, at least.
That's amazing.
Over. And so, it's tragic, but it's also positive at the same time. And so please don't turn the Amber Alerts off on your phone. Don't ignore them. You don't know. And be a Jim. If you see something, say something. Because without Jim, they wouldn't have known who abducted. Like, they wouldn't have anything to go off on, right? Like, if they ever do get a suspect, they have his eyewitness account of the truck, what he looked like, I mean, there would be no denying it. So, be a gem.
Be a gem.
So that's my...
Jim's a gem.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did pass away of old age. Nothing crazy. But, anyways, that's my story on Amber, the Amber Alert systems. All
Well,
that stuff.
that was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what my story will be next week?
Yeah.
Probably something inappropriate and crazy. But thank you, Ashley.
Yes.
And it's a reminder that until we see you next week, please be kind to each other. And if you see something, say something. And we'll see you next week. Bye.